It's the Fear It Go show with your host, Brandi Taylor, on the main channel on TVU. How you doing, Brandi?
I am awesome. I'm awesome. Hello, beautiful souls out there. Super excited to have a conversation today. Today, we're going to talk about climbing mountains. Doesn't that sound so delicious, James?
It does, it does, it does.
So I was telling James I climbed a mountain literally last week. And what an experience it is to climb a mountain. Something actually I wonder if it would be, actually I know it would be extremely valuable. And I know there's a few coaches out there that actually do this with clients. They have them climb a mountain. And the reason being is because there's a lot you learn when you're climbing a mountain. There's a lot you learn about pushing yourself or the way that you're thinking when you're in the process of going through this trail and up the mountain. And there's a lot that you end up seeing from the top that you would never have seen from the bottom. So I wanted to share this experience with you guys because it is so paramount and so parallel with life. And it doesn't matter if it's in your business and something you're trying to achieve. Let me rephrase that. I really don't like using the word trying. Something you are working on achieving, something that you are putting in efforts to change and make for the better, whether it's personally or professionally. But this is what I experienced. So we take off on this hike, and the beginning of the hike does not go so well. It's not extremely well marked, this trail. And we are literally, there's 3 of us, and we're headed up the wrong ridge. So we had this ascent on this ridge that was such hard work, but none of us thought anything of it because we're like, this is the nature of this trail. Nope, it's completely the wrong trail. Completely the wrong trail. And we realize this, we're like, we're on this ridge, we want to be on that ridge, that's where we're going. And so descend. And let me tell you, the ascension was already hard and we are struggling getting up this ridge. And then so coming down, we're dropping in elevation, and it's almost heartbreaking because you're like, we just did all that work for nothing. But it's not for nothing. So we get down, we find our cross path where we missed our actual path, and we take that one, we deviate. We kind of take a slightly wrong turn again. And it's beautiful, so it's okay. You know, we're seeing a lot of incredible things, and I see a deer, and it smells great, and I'm working hard, but it feels really good. So we realize we've made another wrong turn, but it's just barely off of the trail where we're going. So not really a big deal. So we, that one's a little bit of an ascension, but not super crazy. So we come back down and then find our trail. And then we look at the ridge we're going to climb. And this trail says it is just under 10 kilometers. So it's not really that far. But the last part, the last 1.5 kilometers is almost 700 meters in ascending. Like, it's crazy. So we look, and I'm like, oh my God, because I'm looking from the bottom-ish of the trail going, wow, how am I going to climb that? Like, that just looks crazy. Little did I realize that wasn't even the top. Wasn't even close to the top. But from where I was standing, it looked like the top, and it looked like it was 1,000,000 miles away. Like, it was so far. So the 3 of us get on it, and we're on this trail, and I pass by this beautiful creek coming down, and it's got some waterfall, and I'm just like, wow, this is so pretty. And the flowers were everywhere. We walked through this incredible flower valley and heard like a rock slide happening at the same time. And it was just so many interesting, beautiful things to witness along the way. So when we get to I want to back up just for a second. When we went up the wrong path the second time, and then it was actually a cirque, and it's literally in a bowl. So we are looking over this this ridge, and you can see it's like this bowl in the mountain, and it's interesting looking, but not really what we thought we were going to see, right? So and these people are like, no, that trail's over this way, and we're like, thank you so much. And it was really nice to see people with the whole COVID thing going on, and just having some sort of communication while you're out and about in nature. And it felt normal. It didn't feel like all these restrictions that we felt over the last while. It just felt normal and like life moving and flowing. So the bowl looked interesting, but not really my kind of style. However, the whole way through this part of the lower land of the trail, I'm looking and I'm like, wow, this is really pretty and it smells so good. And my thoughts are never in a space that I can't do this, which is really interesting, because as I'm talking with two people I'm there with, one of them is telling me, when I first started doing these trails and I first started doing these hikes, she does difficult ones. She said, I used to tell myself all these crazy things, like, I can't do it. Oh my God, this is so hard. When's it going to end? Right. And we do this in life all the time. We set ourselves up before we've even seen the crazy mountain that we're about to climb and gone, holy cow, that's really high. We've set ourselves up for this struggle, and we've done it in our heads before our bodies have even said yes or no. So we get back on the right trail, we cross over a river, and we start going up. And I'm keto. I eat keto, and I was preparing the night before. I had a little bit of carbs because I'm like, I'm gonna need some serious boosts, and carbohydrates are not necessarily what I need, but I need to eat like high fats to make sure I've got the fuel, or I need to have some carbs. And I knew no matter what I ate that day, I was going to burn it all. So I was quite prepared with how I ate. So that morning I had a meal that like was yogurt and nuts and some granola, and like I had carbs involved in there, but I was running out of fuel. And we get to the first kind of, I don't want to say plateau, but we get to this first area, and I'm like, I'm not feeling okay. Like I need to do something. And my girlfriend looks at me and she's like, do you want some, she calls it goo. It's like this honey mixture. A lot of runners use this, or a lot of trail runners use this. And it's quick burst of energy, which was very helpful. She's like, do you want this? And I was like, yep. And then she goes, do you want a granola bar? And I said, yes. So we sat down for about 10 minutes. I scarfed this thing down as fast as I could. And I'm not kidding. What a difference that made, because I fueled what I needed. So in those moments when we feel like something just isn't right with whatever we're doing, sometimes you just need that external fuel. You just need that little external something that's going to help support you in what you're driving towards, right? It's just a little bit of preparation. It's just a little support. It's just a little bit of something that you can't give to yourself. And I find this is often what happens with so many entrepreneurs and business owners, is they get caught up in the busy and the hustle and burn out, and they don't have the supports in place, or we get sidetracked and take the wrong path, or we're taking a path that is really hard when there's another one that's actually a lot easier, but we can't see it, but someone else can. So having that outside viewpoint and that outside person to come in and support is uber important when it comes to really achieving what you want. So anyways, we have this little break, and I'm not kidding, within like 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, totally feel good. Like my legs feel good. Everything's good. We start the ascent. I cannot stop laughing at this, because like the first part, there's grass on the hill, and because you're climbing a mountain. So like there's basically no more trees. We've moved out of the trees. There's a little bit of grass, and there's a lot of rocky area, and we're going up a ridge. So we get like up like a fair amount. I don't know how many meters we're up, and we see two people coming down, and it was so funny. One of them looks at us and says, do you think that's the top? And we just looked at her and went, what? And she goes, it's not. It's not even close. But because from where you're standing, it looks like we're there. I'm like 10 minutes, we're at the top. Like we are so on it. I can't believe this. I'm almost running up. I'm so excited. I'm using my hands and my feet because it's so steep. Like it's so crazy, but it's awesome. And I'm feeling super invigorated. And what I got from my lovely little support with my granola and my friend who was so kind to share that with me, you know, I thought, this is it. You know, we totally did this. And then you realize, oh, there's more. But she made a great comment. And again, this is the outside view, right? She says, I promise you, what you get when you get to the top is so worth it. It's so worth it. And we're like, okay, thank you so much. And I look across the valley and I see the ridge, the wrong ridge we went up, where there was like a rock slide. And I say to my friend, I'm like, can you please take a picture of this? Because my battery died. And I said, it's just so beautiful. It looks like a painting. Like it's sweeping down. The rocks are sweeping down and it's just, wow. So she takes some pictures. And then we get over that hill. And then we see what we're about to climb. And it's crazy. It's so steep. And it's mostly just like dirt, rock, and barely rock. It's like dirt and like, it's challenging. It's really challenging. And we're like, how are we going to do this without sliding down? How are we going to do this? But no one had the thought of, nope, I want to turn around or any of this stuff. The only thought that went through my head was at the very end, just as we were getting to the top, I went, I wonder how we're going to get down this. Like I came up with my hands and feet at one point. I was using both because it's so steep. So I already was creating an environment where I saw struggle or challenge or difficulty. So my friends get up there first. And it's funny because we were like alternating who was in the lead at any given time going up the ascent. And I'm the last one up to the ridge. I'm kind of taking my time and I'm like, no, I'm going to do this at my own pace and it's totally good. And I'm where I'm at. It's totally good. I'm at where I'm at. So you get to the top and you're like, oh, wow, it is breathtaking. Not only is it breathtaking, but there's a 360-degree view that is absolutely mind-boggling. And this is us when we're in clarity. And this is us when we're outside of our protective minds. The mind that gives us blinders. So when I said to my girlfriend, can you please take a picture of this ridge? Because it looks so beautiful. It's like a painting. I looked at that ridge when I got to the top and it didn't even look like the same ridge. It looked completely different because my perspective was different. I was looking at it from a completely different viewpoint. And that's us when we open up. We have this incredible opportunity to have this viewpoint that is 360, where you can see everything and then make decisions from there. And man, oh man, are your decisions different than when I was stuck down in the bowl, or when we went up the wrong ridge, or when I was looking even from the lower point. I had taken off some of the blinders and moved my perspective. I think of it very much like this. Protective mind does this, limits, right? So if we're wearing blinders like a horse, we only see what's in front of us like this. And as you move your perspective, you get more and more. And once you really clear this and you move out of the protective mind and you're really in full capacity, you get the 360 view. Not only is it incredible, but it opens up everything in you. It opens up all creativity, all gratitude, all appreciation, all of the intuitive parts of you that are leading you in ways that will only benefit you and others. That's it. And here we are standing at the top of this ridge. And then we had a little lunch up there and we had a little friend. We had this chipmunk. It was so hilarious. This little chipmunk comes up and it was so hilarious. it just wouldn't leave us alone. And I'm like, oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Then it got close enough. I went, it's not a he, it's a she. She's got nipples. It got so close to us at one point, we thought it was going to jump on us. Like we made besties up there with some wildlife. But how awesome an experience. And this was to be, like I had said to them, this is my very first time up a mountain. I've hiked before, but not like this, and never up a mountain. I've taken hikes that are just more distance related. So this was a whole new experience for me. And all I kept saying was, thank you. Like, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for, allowing me to be a part of this today. Thank you so much for this. And it's funny, as you look at this picture, I'm looking at this picture, all you see is the tops of the mountains, and you don't see any trees, and you don't see much, because we're literally at the top of a mountain ridge that is absolutely stunning. And how fortunate for me, and for anyone who is here in Alberta, that we live so close to some immense, beautiful mountains to do this with, and tons of trails. Last week, you and I, James, we talked about the gut biome. And I'm telling you right now, I climbed a mountain last week, and I never thought myself not only capable 5 years ago, but no desire. I had no desire to do something like this at all, because I didn't have the energy. So the thoughts didn't even cross my mind to go out and do it. It wasn't even a, maybe that's something I'd like to do, or like none of that. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind that this was something that I would even try or attempt, or that I would find something valuable in it. And it was so valuable. I'll do it again and again. Like, I absolutely loved the experience, regardless of how my legs hurt for 3 days afterwards, but it was incredible. It was incredible. And I was saying to my boys a few years ago, after that weight came off, and I didn't even realize that I really had that much to say goodbye to, that I'd been holding on to. But a few years ago, we went to Frank Slide, which is a very well-known place in southern Alberta, where a part of a mountain actually slid down and buried a town. Kind of a very sad story. However, these boulders are massive. So we're just like running and climbing these boulders and just having so much fun. And again, that would have been something I wouldn't even have participated in. I wouldn't even have participated in had I not gone through the change.
So good.
What are we allowing to hold us back from being all these amazing things we can be, whether it be in our personal lives, whether it be in our business, whether it be in all of our relationships, whatever it is? What are you holding on to that is not benefiting you, that is not you being this big, beautiful self that goes out and does things that you just never even thought of? And it's funny. So the three of us on this trail, one in her 30s, me in my 40s, and my friend in her 50s. We've got three decades, so 30s, 40s, and 50s, all climbing this mountain. It was pretty freaking amazing. Amazing.
I like the how you talked about you're climbing the mountain, and you started the wrong way first, which was high, and you double back, and then you went up, and it sounds like there was two other spots that you thought was the top, or very close to the top. So you got, and then you had to go higher, and then you still had to go higher.
Yep.
And that was very insightful, and the process that you took nourishment in. You felt that your physiology required nourishment, and then you required 2 times. You required mental nourishment, right? Just a perspective nourishment. But then at the peak, you had a peak experience, right? You had a summit experience. So that would be a great experience when you have another summit experience in whatever. in
Yeah.
in business or family or community, to attach those together, right, as your summit experiences.
But
And
isn't
then
that
then when you can draw that summit experience out, right?
but isn't that like the best parts of our journey, when we're reaching for something we've never done. We're striving for something so far outside of ourselves. And then you achieve it. Do we stop there? Yes, we stop there, we celebrate, we enjoy the view, we just like revel in the gratitude of what we've just accomplished. Of course we do. But then will I stop there and say, well, I climbed a mountain, that's it forever? Hell no. It was such a cool experience. I want to do it again. And why wouldn't you do that in your business? It's like, okay, so I've achieved this. Well, what do I want to achieve now? Who do I want to be as a person? What do I want to be like with my spouse? How do I want to be with my kids? What do I want to be like with my friends and my family? Like, whatever area in your life, what do you want to achieve? And how are you going to get there?
And the other thing that is very interesting about what you shared was the whole story. The mountaintop was above you, but now
Right.
where are the mountaintops?
Below me.
Below you.
Below me.
Same
And parallel.
same. Well, you're up top. Well, still on top, but same mountain,
Yeah.
right? You moved
Yeah.
it. You moved that mountain
Oh, that
from
mountain
being
moved me.
above you to being beneath you. Okay? Mountain mover. It's good stuff. Here it goes, only on TVU. Thank you, Brandi.
Bye, beautiful souls.